Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Karina Jasmine binti Abdul Mumin. Today I want to talk about introduction of Gharar in Islamic financial contract. This issue is not hotly debated, and even a few may forget its existence due to the self-controlled nature of greed, which is about Gharar. Gharar can be defined as danger, betting, cheating, or deceiving, not knowing, and cover all matter of fraud, and they like to achieve one purpose, which is to obtain something or property in a wrong and inappropriate manner. It is known that the Prophet Muhammad SAW strictly forbids doing things that could cause Gharar in Islamic business. This has been proven in the book of Al-Fiqh Al-Manhaji 3/12, which has been described as follows. Item for sale must exist when the contract is made. Should not sell non-exist item. Item that do not exist cannot be sold. For example, seller who want to sell fruit on a tree that is or will bear fruit as well as a kid in the womb or about to be conceived. Here it can be seen that the Prophet Muhammad SAW forbade Muslims to sell goods that do not exist, or more clearly is to sell goods that are not sure of their existence. Nowadays, many people are desperate because of financial problems. Sometimes they're willing to do Gharar for profit and selfishness. Many issues that we can see and have been raised by some people who see traders deliberately change the scale and change the selected good to goods that are not longer or expired and also not fresh to the buyer. This matter is strictly prohibited, and it also already written in the Al-Quran that is,
يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم.
meaning, O mankind, what has deceived you concerning your Lord, the generous? Surah Al-Infitar, verse 6. When we look at and understand the verse of the Al-Quran above, we can see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strictly prohibited this act because under Islamic finance, it is against transaction of Islamic rules that are highly uncertain or may cause any injustice or deception to any of the parties. It is best that we as human beings should refrain from doing or causing this Gharar, not only because it is forbidden, but also this is not a good thing to do, and deceive someone for the sake of profit will not last long, because as the idiom goes, curses like chickens come home to roost.
Next is literature research or overview. Adam Abdullah 2016 concludes that Islam prohibits all business transactions that lead to exploitation and injustice in any form to any party in a contract because Islam mandates all financial and business based on transparency, accuracy, and disclosure of all material information so that no party takes advantage of the other party. Therefore, it is important for a person to understand the elements that are forbidden in Islamic law. Gharar or uncertainty can be associated with risk arising from a lack of knowledge about the contract, whether it is object, price, delivery time, as well as uncertainty about its existence. According to Camille Paldi 2014, Gharar in practice is potentially related to issues such as pricing, delivery, quantity, and quality of transactions-based assets and will affect the level or quality of the parties' agreement to the contract. Ayub 2007 says that to avoid Gharar or uncertainty, the contracts must be free from excessive uncertainty about the subject matter and its counter value in exchanges. The commodity must be defined, determined and deliverable and clearly known to the contracting parties. Quality and quantity must be stipulated. A contract must not be doubtful or uncertain so far as rights and obligations of the contracting parties are concerned. There should be no jal or uncertainty about availability, existence, and deliverability of goods, and the parties should know the actual state of the goods. According to Mauli Izzuddin says that the prohibition related to these contracts is established due to the potential for deception that could result from not knowing the quantity of one of the exchange commodities. Gharar leads the financial system into a zero-sum game where one's benefit is someone else's loss. However, Gharar is allowed in circumstances where the harm outweighs the benefit. Kamali says, should there be a public need for it, Gharar, even if exists priority by virtue of the Quranic principle of removal of hardship? The Sharia thus validates salam, advance purchase, and istisna'a, manufacturer contract, regardless of the Gharar, uncertainty elements therein, simply because of the people's need for them. However, Gharar is for the most part prohibited as it promotes immorality, moral and social decay, societal disintegration, volatile markets, and financial instability, and opens the door for deception and ruthless greed. In fact, to Ibn Taymiyyah, the evil of gambling is greater than riba, for gambling combines two evils, the unlawful acquisition of property and the playing of an unlawful game, both of which are haram. That's all from me. Thank you.
أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون.
First above explain about how Gharar really affecting people's mind just for the sake of their own benefit. People should not seek any benefit by bribing other people. Thus, when people are aware of the properties, he will try to claim the rights of the belonging of someone by tricking or cunning the person so that he or she can usurp the property.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم ولا تقتلوا أنفسكم إن الله كان بكم رحيما.
Second surah that related to Gharar is Surah An-Nisa, verse 29. Talk about people expression about the wrong way of transaction, which opposed to the righteousness and which is illegal and legal. Next, it means that consume other people properties by wrongful. Same meaning with courting one on destruction.
There are three benefits of avoiding Gharar, which is the first one is avoid deception in society. Refer to the fact that nowadays people more prefer buy goods online. Most of cases of buyers who buy goods online occur when they order one item but then they get another item. It's not like the same item they order. To prevent the deception happening in community, the customer who already buy from the seller should type a comment on the down below of the seller's website that to inform to another customer that these sellers are trusted or not. The second benefits of avoiding Gharar is prevent racial divisions. This is because when the seller uses the concept of Gharar in their business, it will arouse hatred towards the trader and give a bad name to the rest of the trader himself. This is why traders should refrain from Gharar in order to get a good name, and the name of the nation will be more respected. The last one is train one to be more honest and trustworthy. This is because When the trader does not use the concept of Gharar, it will indirectly train the trader to be more honest, and the public will be more interested in buying or renting from the trader. That's all.
There is three impact of Gharar towards individual. Firstly is individual will be greedy. They will do anything as they could to get the benefit of other people. Once they win or get the benefit, it will probably lead them towards Gharar since they are used to it on their daily life. They will never feel enough and they think they will get anything that they want by tricking and cunning other people's properties. This should not be practiced in our life since it will lead us to ignorance and there will be a misunderstanding and misleading towards other people. Next point is people will hard to trust you. When it comes to Gharar, it is always tricking and cunning other people or fooling other people to get their benefit or properties for our own sake. And once the person was tricked by the person that do Gharar, the person that was tricked will tell their family, relative, or friend saying that you are fooling them for their properties and saying that your intention is to lying from there. When you try to do something good for once, it is hard for people to trust you because you are already fooling too many people. People around you will always look down on you. In this case, it is better to be truthful to yourself, other people, because it is bad when it comes to convincing people and making them to trust you. Lastly, the individual always wanted to win or lie. It's explained that once a person is used to doing Gharar, it is not possible that in his or her daily life he will keep on lying to other people for the benefit. They always wanted to win even though they know that they are wrong. They always find a way or point on arguing with someone so that the person will make themselves feel bad about themselves. It really shows how arrogant and greedy they are. This should not be happening, and we should realize when we are wrong, we should not argue but to remain silent.
Now I will talk about example of Gharar in modern transaction. Even though the passage of time is so fast and we are in the age of modernity, does not mean Gharar does not happen in our environment. In fact, there are a handful of people want to take advantages and try to deceive anyone who is trapped, as it is often done consciously and deliberately just for fear of loss. So they forgotten about rights and the justice of others. One of the Gharar in modern transaction is mystery box. This has attracted and deceived many people where they must pay a certain amount of money to the seller and they do not know what the content inside the box. The price of a mystery box starts from tens of ringgit to hundreds of Malaysian ringgits. Sometimes it benefits the buyer because in the box there are some items that should not be bought with the price of 10 of Malaysian ringgit, such as mobile phone, speaker, power bank, and so on. But sometimes it can very disadvantageous to the buyer because even if it was bought at a relatively expensive price, the goods in the package does not reach the price and the goods can be said as useless of buying it. This is one of the Gharar that is prohibited in Islamic financial because of the buyer does not know what is inside of the mystery box and does not even know the condition of the item inside. Buyer also cannot see the sell item and the price are not affordable. Next, it is hotly debated on social media at this time that the seller who sell pre-order item has fled. This is where the sellers sell a mobile phone at a cheap and unreasonable price, but the buyer needs to make a full payment and wait for the phone for a relatively long period of at least 6 months of waiting, and sometimes the wait can be up to a year. In the purchase of this one, customers are only allowed to choose the desired mobile phone model, and even color selection is not allowed. Color selection will be allowed if the pre-order item have reached the hand of the seller, and it is known that buying this phone in turn means who buys or pays earlier will get earlier. This become even warmer when a customer who had been waiting for the phone, he bought it for more than a year, asked for his money back because of waiting too long. The seller began to give many reasons as if he not want to return the customer money, and eventually disappeared without any trace. There is an element of fraud, and even the seller is not sure that the goods will either arrive on time or not. In the age of modernity, there is no denying that everyone should live with technology, because at this time technology is evolving so fast that it forces us to learn it. There are several applications that allow us to buy online. This makes it easier for us without having to go out of the house to buy the item we want, but Gharar will also happen here. This is because lately individuals have complained and said that the item they bought would not as what has they expected. After further research was done, the online seller advertised that she was selling original handbag, and at the same time the seller made a promotion for the product to attract the interest of the public. Unfortunately, a woman got stuck with the advertisement and bought a bag that was cost hundreds of ringgit after the promotion compared to the price when bought at the shopping mall, and when the bag had arrived, the woman found that the bag was not original as there were scratch marks on the bag. This can be said to be Gharar because the seller has deceived the public with her advertisement and promotion, and the seller does not provide accurate information to her customer. Although living in an age full of technology, sophistication does not necessarily mean that everyone is honest and responsible. Sometimes, just because they want a profit, they're willing to do anything to deceive the public. To sum up, we must try to avoid this Gharar happening in business because it is strictly prohibited in Islamic financial. In fact, this also brings harm to the seller, as it is also not fair to the customer who are deceived to buy it. Being an honest trader is not detrimental. In fact, it is a commendable act and can give a good impression from customer itself as their gratitude to the seller.
To summarize all has been said thus far, the concept of Gharar is increasingly used in transactions that stem from financial problems that occur in society that cause them to deceive others in gaining a profit for their own pleasure. Verses in the Quran have also emphasized that we should avoid using Gharar concept for our own benefit, and this concept contradict from Islamic finance. Gharar also has more negative coincidence than benefits, so we should stay away from it for the sake of gaining well-being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The development of technology and businesses nowadays make this concept of Gharar more difficult to detect. The more we study inside this concept, the easier it is for us to balance the economy. That's all from us. Thank you.